Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I want to talk about 4 new legendary champions that I think are coming to Raid Shadow Legends. This is a bit of a speculative video, but not that speculative because I feel like they're dropping us hints all over the place. So I want to talk about the 4 new champions that I think are coming. I want to talk about what skills I want them to have. And I want to talk about how I want Raid to run this event. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the new starter heroes. Yeah, we've had the kind of nuggets dropping. We've got the new avatars with the kind of different look on the different milestones. This is clearly an updated view. And actually, when we first saw these avatars popping up, me and Saf, we were like, hold on, are we getting legendary starters? And it turned out, for now, they were just avatars. I think that's false. I think they're going to be legendary champions. Why do I say that? Well, on one of the recent updates, the Raid Digest that they did, they put out a pretty big teaser, and I can't believe it's not being talked about. But basically, they were saying here, to clarify, Titan event is not the only thing we prepared for you. It's a big part of the 4th anniversary. Why did we pick Gaelic, Kale, Why did we pick Gaelic, Kale, Aethel, Elhain? These 4 champions met every raider at the beginning of their Warrior's Day, and with each of them is unique, blah, blah, blah. So basically saying here, they looked legendary. Who knows? Maybe there's more to that. Wink, wink. Okay, so it's a pretty big hint that they are coming out as legendaries. So what I wanted to talk about is, like, if I was controlling Raid, how would I do this event? How would I do, like, the resurrection of 4 legendary starter champions? And also, I want to talk about some skills that I hope that they come out with. So let's just start by saying, like, Ronda is due to end on the 20th of February. And I would assume, or I'm kind of betting, that somehow one of these starter heroes is going to be the next kind of like free login legendary. That's what I think they're going to do, or at least that's what I hope they're going to do. And how would I do it? I would do it very similar to when you first get to pick your starter. Yeah, so whenever they do the next guaranteed legendary, if it is going to be one of these 4, I think they should do it as they all get released at the same time. And again, you get to pick your legendary. And you're only going to get one of them. I guess the rest of them can be available from shards after the event is over. A bit like with Ronda. But yeah, I just feel like it would be so cool to be like, right, which legendary is actually going to suit my account the most? And obviously we get a breakdown of their skills. I then think take it a step further. If I'm Raid and I want to do this with a bang, because so far their kind of like 4th anniversary stuff is kind of like just, I don't know, limped in. You could also do like a whole new campaign with rewards, with different stuff to do. Basically a different event that only your starter is unlocked for when it first goes live. So your starter legendary joins you like when you start the game. And you have to run through a kind of like new set of dungeons or campaign with this new starter, leveling them out, using fodder alongside them, and almost like use that new starter hero to unlock the rest of your account again as like a fun sideline event. I don't know. I'm just spitballing stuff here, but like make something different about it rather than just, oh, here's another login champion. I feel like it's a great opportunity to give people a choice, to give people a choice of different champions based on what they like. And then to throw them into a new game mode and try and spice things up a little bit again. Let's just have a look then at the champions that are already out there. Kale, Dark Kale, Ultimate Kale. That feels like that would be the way it would go. We've got Elhain, Dark Elhain, Ultimate Elhain, yeah. We've got Aethel, Dark Aethel, Ultimate Aethel, yeah. But then I feel like they've dropped a mistake in Gaelic. Because Gaelic has already got, obviously, his original form, Gaelic, yeah. But then they've already got Ultimate Gaelic as the epic. Who made that decision? He was the first one that came out. So he's probably going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works around naming these dudes. And if it was me, again, I would just be like, change this one to Dark Gaelic. Just change his name so that we can get ready for the new ones that are coming out. But what I want them to do is I want the new ones to kind of stay loyal to what their champions are made for, but take them on to the next level. Yeah, that's what we want them to be doing. So, if you think about Gaelic here, He's honestly not up to much as the starter. He doesn't really have a space in the game. You might argue that he's quite a decent arena champion. But I think when you get to Ultimate Gaelic now, with the burn mechanics and turn meter control, I think he's actually really solid for Spider. Yeah, he certainly has been. He's not as good now as he was when he first came out because there's just power creep in the game. But I would want to see Gaelic kind of go up to that next level for Spider control. But also make sure that he's got a burn mechanic which is going to be a bit more consistent. So something like places an AoE HP burn. I'd like to see him be able to ignite burns a bit like Sakir can. I'd also like to see him be able to almost like pair with other Gaelics. This is something I'd like to see for all of the new legendaries that come out. A passive that basically, if they're paired with any of the other forms of themselves, then they get either a damage boost, or for Gaelic, if he's got burns out, it could be that he ignites 2 ticks of burn, something like that. Something cool, which makes them want to play alongside their kind of buddies, their I guess, weaker selves. So yeah, so if I was building out Gaelic's kit, I would want him to have almost like an Armada style A1 with turn meter drop. I'd want him to have an ability to do AoE HP burn on an A2, perhaps with also the ability to buff his whole team. So here he buffs his own attack. Maybe he buffs his team's attack and does like a turn meter fill. And then I think on the A3, kind of like a Theodore or Sakir type of ignite. Yeah, so igniting those burns and maybe raising their kind of tick level by another turn. Then with a passive that passively kind of goes alongside his team. Maybe a second passive or a second part to the passive where he cannot be stunned or turn meter controlled. Basically like pushing on from where Brush It Off is right now. Cannot be stunned or turn meter controlled. But on like I don't know, maybe like a 2-turn cooldown, something like that. So let's have a look then at Elhain. Now, Elhain, I think, as a starter, she's just raw damage, yeah? So I'm using Elhain on my free-to-play here. She's raw damage. The problem with her as a starter, honestly, is that she's not got enough extra raw damage compared to the others to make her really shine as the damage dealer. So you then feel like, well, where's her debuffs? Yeah, everyone else has got debuffs. She doesn't. But she does have a couple of AoEs. And it feels like, you know, if we're staying loyal to her design, she's really built as either an arena champion, nuker, or she's built as a wave beater. Yeah, she just beats up waves of enemies. She's not really a boss killer. So if we were to go on to then her kind of upgraded version, Dark Elhain, she's then got a bit more oomph about her. So she's definitely got a bit more damage. And she's got Destroy Max HP. I don't really like that as a mechanic anyway. But then she's got this kind of like anti-freeze. Yeah. Now, for the ultimate version, I feel like you've got to make her an arena champion. You've got to keep to that loyalty of, I'm a wave nuker. Yeah, someone who's going to be able to blow up areas like high-level Doom Tower waves. So I feel like you need to punch her damage up Ruel level. Yeah, she needs to have like a mechanic where she can go Ruel level nukes so that we've got someone here that's going to absolutely smack. She's got to stay true to that. She needs a couple of AoEs in her kit, that's for sure. I think we keep with the anti-freeze, but I feel like it's almost like she's now being resurrected out of that dragon, yeah? She punches her way out of the dragon, and now she's got fire and ice. And I feel like we go with anti-freeze, but also anti-burn. So whenever either of those are placed, she launches into nuke mode. Also pairs up with her other forms as well. So I think that passive runs through all of the team. And honestly, I like the idea of self-buffing. So maybe it's just an increased version of what we got here. But double AoE, honestly, just an upgraded Dark Elhain. And I think we're happy with an absolute king of nukes. So maybe something which triggers when one of your team dies as well. Like an absolute cannon of a nuke triggers when she dies. Or maybe all of her abilities are now AoEs. And she's just all about absolutely slaying anyone that comes after her. Let's move on to Aethel then. Aethel here, I think, is probably one of the weaker starters, really. She brings a weaken. She's one of the weaker starters, and then she becomes definitely the weakest in the epic form, right? So she doesn't really bring any strong buffs. She's got a decent-ish AoE, or decent AoE, yeah, it's fine. She then moves on to try and become a spider killer, but she falls well short. I guess, in essence, with Hydra coming into the game as well, it's kind of Hydra-ish as well. So, debuffs, increased speed for you, decreased speed for them. So she's kind of got a bit of turn meter control going on. Multi-hits. So it feels like, to me, her original design was made for Fire Knight and a bit of Clan Boss. And I feel like this design fell short, but it was meant to be Fire Knight with a bit of Spider. And I feel like now, to make a legendary version of an Aethel, we need to ramp it up like considerably, yeah? And I feel like she needs to kind of be anti-Fire Knight and anti-Hydra in her kits. So definitely turn me to control on her A1. I think go back to the 4-hit A1 or create a 4-hit A1 for her, perhaps with almost like a turn meter drop per hit. Doesn't need to be crazy high. It could be 5% turn meter drop per hit, but a 4-hitter, make her the absolute queen for Fire Knight. I still want to see things like AoE decreased speed in a kit. Maybe you have one ability which is about turn meter. Yeah, so you have decreased speed for the enemy, increased speed for you, and turn meter fill for you. Yeah, so it kind of brings her in as a bit of a high anti-Hydra type of ability. Keep it in tune with kind of anti-Hydra. I'd like to see an A1 AoE block buffs. Yeah, so we've got perhaps block buffs and one turn provoke. Something which gives you anti-Hydra head capability. And then I want to see an A3, which is almost like a Crizia style double AoE enemy max HP nuke. Give her some love, because so far the 2 iterations of Aethel are probably the 2 worst of the groups. So yeah, I feel like she needs that kind of like real kick up. And then again, a passive that if you pair her with one of the other Aethels, then either they get a damage boost or, I don't know, some sort of cool synergy when you get the pairing going on. Maybe they take, I don't know, like 30% less damage from AoE hits if there's more than one Aethel type in a team. Something like that. And then we got Kale. Like, Kale, easily the best starter at the moment, yeah? We see it in the free-to-play series. Like, he runs away with Clan Boss damage. He gets you going on Dragon easier. He's just, like, phenomenal. Plus, he does as much damage as the rest of them on an AoE hit. So it's not like he's kind of, like, tuned down for damage. He's not. He's actually the same. So he brings debuffs, and, yeah, he's solid. We then get to Dark Kale. And Dark Kale, honestly, is already the quality of a legendary, yeah? Triple hitter. Poison activation. AoE decrease attack. Poison sensitivity. So he kind of stays true, actually, to his kind of poisoner, but he brings an AoE decrease attack in, and he's got this reduced crit rate based on poisons being out there. So I feel like he needs to join the ranks of the Elenaril and Xavier. So AoE poisoner, but also AoE combust poisons. I also feel like he should have a passive where when he's doing that enemy max HP poison burst, it ignores 50% of the enemy's ability to reduce your damage from enemy max HP stuff. Yeah, so we've got someone that can do more damage with those explosions. I feel like we've got decreased attack in the kit, so we kind of need to keep that in. Maybe we do increased attack for us as well. And yeah, again, for a passive, maybe something along the lines of, poisons tick for double damage if there's 2 Kales in the mix of different types. Something like that. So you're merging these 2 together. But look, I don't know when this is going to come, but I would imagine it's going to be around that 4th birthday time. We know no other news right now, but I can see this happening around April. But comment down below, what would you like to see in their kits? Is there a particular type of damage ability or skill set that you'd like to see for your favorite starter hero? And yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.